In the ancient land of Israel, the word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai, with a weighty command. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, for its wickedness has risen up to me. But Jonah didn't want to go. Instead, he ran away and headed for Tarshish. He went to Joppa, found a ship going to Tarshish, paid for his trip, and set sail to escape from the Lord's command. Then the Lord sent a great wind on the sea. The wind was so strong and the waves so violent that the ship was in danger of breaking apart. The sailors, frightened and desperate, cried out to their own gods and threw their cargo overboard to lighten the ship. But Jonah had gone below deck, where he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. Then the captain, who was terrified, went to Jonah to wake him up and said,
"How can you sleep? Get up and call on your God. Maybe he will take notice of us, so that we will not perish."
The terrified sailors cast lots to find out who was responsible. The lot fell on Jonah, so they asked him, "Who are you, and why has this happened?" Jonah replied, "I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and land." Afraid, they asked Jonah what they should do to calm the sea. Jonah said, "Throw me into the sea, and it will calm down. The storm is because of me." At first, the sailors tried to row back to land, but the storm worsened. Finally, they prayed to the Lord and threw Jonah overboard. The sea immediately grew calm. Amazed by the Lord's power, the sailors offered sacrifices and made vows to him. Meanwhile, the Lord sent a huge fish to swallow Jonah, where he remained for 3 days and 3 nights. From inside the fish, Jonah prayed to the Lord his God. And the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land. Then the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. "Go to the great city of Nineveh and proclaim to it the message I give you." Jonah obeyed the word of the Lord and went to Nineveh. Now Nineveh was a very large city. It took 3 days to go through it. Jonah began by going a day's journey into the city, proclaiming,
40 more days, and Nineveh will be overthrown.
The Ninevites believed God, declared a fast, and wore sackcloth. When the king heard Jonah's warning, he took off his royal robes, put on sackcloth, and sat in the dust, proclaiming it throughout Nineveh.
Do not let people or animals, herds or flocks, taste anything. Do not let them eat or drink, but let people and animals be covered with sackcloth. Let everyone call urgently on God.
When God saw Nineveh's repentance, he spared them from destruction. Jonah was displeased and angry, so he prayed to the Lord.
"Isn't this what I said, Lord, when I was still at home? That is what I tried to avoid by fleeing to Tarshish. I knew you are slow to anger and abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity. Now, Lord, take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live."
But the Lord replied, "Is it right for you to be angry?" Jonah sat east of the city, building a shelter to watch what would happen. God provided a plant for shade, making Jonah happy. But the next day, God sent a worm that withered the plant. Under the scorching sun and hot wind, Jonah grew faint and wished to die.
"It would be better for me to die than to live."
God said to Jonah, "Is it right for you to be angry about the plant?" "It is," he said, "and I'm so angry I wish I were dead." But the Lord said,
You have been concerned about this plant, though you did not tend it or make it grow. It sprang up overnight and died overnight. And should I not have concern for the great city of Nineveh, in which there are more than 120,000 people who cannot tell their right hand from their left, and also many animals?
Jonah eventually understood God's concern for the people of Nineveh and fulfilled his mission. He remained faithful to God forever and ever,